And as far as what the Iraqis have now agreed to do in order to allow U.S. troops to get out of their country, that sparked testy words between Chairman Senator Levin and Ranking Member Senator McCain.
We surely want to see the benchmarks the Iraqis have allegedly agreed to. And Senator McCain, perhaps you and I could send a letter today to the Secretary of State expecting those benchmarks to be delivered this week. We'll try again. We've been trying it very hard.
Well, as importantly, if we're going to exercise our oversight responsibilities, Mr. Chairman, we ought to have benchmarks. Maybe we could use some of those, maybe not.
Well, I think the first step would be to get the benchmarks the Iraqis have allegedly agreed to before. I have no problem in trying to work out benchmarks. In fact, both resolutions talk about benchmarks which are needed, benchmarks which have not been complied with in the past by the Iraqis, commitments they've made and have failed to keep. Everyone agrees that they ought to keep.
Well, if you want to look back, that's fine, Mr. Chairman. The fact is I'm trying to look forward. I'm trying to stop from sending the wrong message to the men and women who are going to be at risk, some of them who are going to die, that we disapprove of their mission, but at the same time exercise the oversight responsibilities and the expectations that we as a Congress have and that the American people have so they can have some comfort in what is going to happen, that we are exercising our legitimate responsibilities. Now, if your focus is on digging up what the old benchmarks are, fine. But I'd like to work with you on trying to set some parameters and benchmarks that can be passed by this Congress so that we could give the American people some confidence. And I thank you, Mr. Chairman, for...
We are not just focusing on old benchmarks. The President of the United States a few days ago said that the Iraqis are going to be held to the benchmarks they've agreed to. We want to know, as a starting point, what have the Iraqis agreed to? And you've agreed that you would join with me in terms of the message. We're going to argue over what the right message is, but I would think our troops and their families want us to use our best efforts to try to have a successful end to this matter.
Chairman, I think I'm familiar with the sentiment of many of the troops, and the fact is they want to win. And that's what they want, and that's why we're changing the strategy, Mr. Chairman, and I'm sorry you don't support the strategy.
Well, it's a strategy which has failed. And finally, the President acknowledged that he did not have a winning strategy, so I'm glad we have not, many of us, supported what has proven to be a failed strategy. I'm delighted the President has acknowledged that he wants to change that strategy, finally, after 2 months ago saying we're absolutely winning in Iraq.